It sounds like he's going to bat leadoff. It sounds like he's going to bat high in the order. I thought they were going to tuck him in, put him in 7th, 8th, 9th, be able to put that in there. It sure sounded like he is going to hit fairly high. And here was Jerry Dipoto when he was with us earlier, just a half hour ago.
Wherever he wants to bat. I think the reality you saw, we had him in Tacoma. We hit him lead off throughout the spring. We in co-op and spring training, we hit him lead off, and we were doing it to maximize the number of plate appearances he got. He was getting 4 or 5 a day, and I think the same thing generally holds true. But more importantly, in this group of players that we currently have, we feel like Jarred has the on-base skills. He has the discipline in his approach, and he's a fire starter. He gets things going. So I think you'll see him more often than not hitting at the top of the lineup.
I like that approach. I think it worked out really well in Houston with George Springer, who is, I think, a player with a very similar skill set. He has power. He has speed. To have someone like that to open up a game can put a pitcher on his heels immediately with that kind of power.
One of the bigger changes that we've seen, and I think it's really the past 10 years, but certainly over the past 20, is you used to have an archetype where you had a lighter hitting leadoff hitter who was exceptionally fast with a high on-base percentage. Your number 2 hitter was someone who is maybe like a notch below that, but some of the similar characteristics. And then your best overall hitter would be number 3 with your best power hitter 4. You now generally see your best hitter number 2. And most teams will look at that, and there's less distinction between sort of your best overall hitter and your best power hitter, because everybody, they pretty much want everybody to hit for some degree of power. I thought 2 would be the ideal spot for him, but maybe you have Kelenic 1 and then put Haniger in at number 2. You put a guy on base in front of Haniger. That makes a lot of sense.
Imagine your 2 most trustworthy guys in the lineup are 1 and 2.
Well, you get a lefty. If Kelenic leads off, you got a left-handed bat there and then a righty.
Yeah.
At 3, do you put Kyle Seager and go back left, and you start to create a little bit of staggering? Like, I had not thought of it. I really, the more we've talked about it, the Mariners are not soft selling this promotion at all. The Mariners are not like, let's wait and see what happens. The Mariners are not saying, like, let's not get over eager and not expect too much. The Mariners are very much like, we believe he's ready to make an impact right now.
Do you think that's more because of the confidence, or is this more because they want to generate interest, because they want people to start to believe in something that may or may not be in the works? There's always an element of that, no matter what we want to think about it just being about a process.
I have never seen from Jerry and Scott, and I put those two in because they're the baseball operations guys. I have never seen them make decisions that are based upon public reaction.
That's good.
And maybe somebody can text in right now and to 710-710, the Mac and Jacks. But in all of the different ways we've seen them navigate these things, and they've done it with a team that they were hoping was going to win right now and a team that they were hoping that was going to win in the future, I've never seen them opt for sort of the optics of decisions. It's usually been based on their process and their evaluation. I'm not saying that's impossible. There's also part of me that feels that maybe they want to see how Kelenic's going to handle this sort of promotion and reaction. They're like, okay, this isn't a guy that needs to be protected or to provide it with that soft line. We're not worried about how he is going to, if he's going to be overwhelmed by this opportunity or if he struggles that he might be deflated. He doesn't need to be protected.
It's interesting, too, that they might have that approach just given what we're seeing out of Evan White right now, but I don't blame him. I mean, I really don't. I look at Kelenic, I see a guy who's got all the confidence in the world. I don't think that when the struggles happen, and they will happen, that's something that they should be concerned about.
We've all seen coaches in different sports who sort of kind of try to soft sell the next big thing, right? To try to temper expectations. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, like all of those. And what are the reasons to do that? Usually it's to protect the player, right?
Yeah.
Like the rationale is not that, hey, I don't have these high expectations for him. They want to protect the player. They want to keep the guy. and maybe with Kelenic, that their experience with him and over the past year where there's been some moments of friction, right? There's no doubt he wanted to be called up last year.
Yes.
He didn't want to start in the minor leagues at the alternative site. He wanted to be on the major league roster. You've constantly been saying whoa to him. Hold on, wait your turn, wait your turn. And maybe there's some of this of like, okay, he's basically just kicked every door that we've tried to not cold shut, but to say, like, let's make sure we go through here slowly. He's kicked off the hinges. So, okay, fine, here's the last one, and we'll see what you can do. And based on everything that we've seen from you so far, whether it was how you hit in spring training the past 2 years to you homering in your first AAA game and then homering again that game, okay, well, we've got our popcorn ready. We're going to watch and see how this goes.
Yeah. I don't blame him. I really don't. I mean, again, it was one of the first at-bats against a left-handed pitcher, and he just crushed it out of the ballpark. And that's, I think, a pretty good sign about as far as where he is in his development at that level. So challenge him further. And, yeah, they are the mama bird legitimately kicking the baby bird out of the nest. But the baby bird, he's feeling himself. So I really don't blame them on that front.